Do you often get angry? Yeah, I can relate. I used to get angry constantly. You can ask some of my friends. Don't know how I still have those same friends, but luckily for me, I do. So today I'm going to give you 7 tips on how to either reduce or even eliminate your anger. And the last one, number 7, I only learned recently, and I wish I knew it sooner. So let's jump in. Number 1, I think the most important thing when it comes to dealing with anger is to stop judging yourself. Anger is not an acceptable behavior in our society. It's not an acceptable way of acting. And there's so much judgment around it and so much self-judgment that the very first thing we do is judge ourselves, try to push it away, try to shove it down, try to, clamp it down in any way we can. And what happens is it comes out sideways, or when it's a totally inappropriate time, or in our health. So if you can relate to this, and if you've been judging yourself, please stop judging yourself. Instead, appreciate your anger. I'll get to that. That's number 2. We're going to talk about that. But let me just try and help you not judge yourself. Know that there are valid reasons for anger. I'm not saying we should all walk around, whacking each other over the head and being angry all the time. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is knowing that, number 1, one of the things I learned, and it helped me understand what was happening within me, is anger is a trauma response, right? So there's 4 of them: fight, flight, fawn, or freeze. I only recently learned about the fawn and the freeze one. I only knew as a kid the fight or flight. But it's a real valid coping mechanism for trauma. And if you're watching this video, I bet you've had trauma in your life. Number 2, I'm still on number 1, but the second thing you should know about trauma is it often comes from head injuries. I've got one of those. I had a really bad skiing accident when I was in high school. Had a very bad concussion. So I got that going for me, as they say. And then the last thing, I'm sure there's others than the 3 I'm mentioning now, but the last thing you should know about it is it's often a learned response. Got that going for me too. I'm batting 1,000. My mom was either sleeping from depression or raging, like yelling at me through clenched teeth like she was demonic. It was pretty intense. I was also beaten as a kid. I was also hit by boyfriends, and I had a boyfriend kick me in the head. So there was I have a lot going on for me. I've handled a lot of it. Anyway, so just know that there are valid reasons for trauma, and there's nothing wrong with you if you get angry sometimes. So just really stop judging yourself. That's number 1. Number 2, I started talking about appreciation. So if you can, and I know this isn't easy, it took me a while to do this. I'm not going to say how long. If you can, appreciate it. And the way I have learned to appreciate it, and it was very helpful to me, is see where it's coming up in my body. Maybe it's a tight ball in your solar plexus. Maybe it's a gripping around your chest or your heart. Maybe it's your fist, like you want to fight somebody. Maybe it's a gripping in your throat, like suddenly your throat tenses up. So stop in that moment if you can. If you can't, if it's not appropriate to do this in the moment you're angry, as soon as you have a moment alone, go back, feel the feeling, try to bring it up for a moment, and see where you're feeling it in your body, and ask what it's trying to tell you. It has a message for you. Maybe it's to fight back because you were beaten up as a kid. Maybe it's because your voice was stifled. Maybe you were constantly told to shut up and that's why you get angry. See what the lesson is in the anger and appreciate it instead of resisting it. Okay, so that's number 2. Number 3, we have a habit of saying, I'm an angry person, or I am angry right now. I am angry. Then you're not separate from it. You're very much enmeshed with it and identifying with it as you. You are not your anger. You're not. You are someone who is feeling angry, or angry feelings are arising. That comes from Buddhism. So I know that might seem like a mind trick, but it's really important, because the more you say that to yourself, instead of saying, I'm angry, say, I am feeling angry right now, or anger is arising in me. The more you do that, the more separate from the anger you become. And there's a little bit of distance, and you can recognize that it is not you. You are not your anger. You're feeling some angry feelings, but you're not your anger. I hope you hear that. And that just slight change in perspective can mean a world of difference. So do whatever you can to separate yourself just a little bit, and it will become wider and wider, and you'll be better able to observe. And then the 4th thing I recommend is practicing what I call the I don't call it, but I refer to the letting go technique. It actually comes from David R. Hawkins, and he's written a whole book on it, which I highly recommend. Now, it might sound like letting go technique is, just, let go of your anger. No, that's not what it means. It means allow it to arise and feel it, but without judgments, without thoughts. He writes a whole book about it and how to do it. But basically, in a nutshell, if you can't allow yourself to feel the feeling when it's happening, because maybe it's at work or not an appropriate moment with your children, whatever it is, okay, do one of these other techniques I'm going to go over in that moment. But later, sit, if you can, in solitude, just you and yourself, and feel the anger. If it feels in your throat, if it feels in your tummy, wherever it is, feel it and allow it. Just be with it. Do your utmost not to have thoughts about it. Oh, I shouldn't be feeling this way. I'm afraid it's going to take me over. That's one of the reasons why we're always trying to push anger away, because we're afraid of what we might do in anger, or where it might lead us, or that it will overtake us. That's often not the case. I mean, yeah, maybe if you're a mass murderer, maybe, but I don't think that's who is listening to this video. So sit for a moment and allow yourself to feel the anger without judgment in that moment. And Dr. Hawkins talks about giving it over to God, just saying, okay, God, I feel angry. Bring it on. Bring on the anger. Okay, I feel angry. I allow the anger to arise. Allow it. Stop trying to push it away. So that's it's very powerful. Takes a little practice, but it's very powerful. And again, the book is really helpful. So that's number 4. Number 5 is deep breathing. And this is something usually you can do in the moment. I know, again, it sounds cliche, but it really helps. Now, if you feel anger coming up, in that second, the first breath might look like, okay, or maybe it won't. Maybe that's just me. In any event, just take that first deep breath, and then take another one, in through your nose if you can, and out through your mouth. Out through your mouth is the important part of it. You can go in through your mouth too if you're really seething in that moment, but out through the mouth, let the anger out in the breath. And the more you do that and practice that, the easier it gets to catch the anger before it's full blown. You'll feel it coming and you'll just start the deep breathing. So that's very powerful and very helpful. Okay, number 6. These also sound cliche, but they really work. Meditation, yoga, tai chi, breathing exercises, there's somatic breathing. I mean, there's other types of breathing, not just deep breathing like I'm saying just said about in the moment. But these help in the long term to feel more peaceful and calm. And so when anger does start to arise, if you do these various things like separate yourself from it, the deep breathing in the moment, trying to, kind of catch it before it's full blown. But the yoga, meditation, or Tai Chi help you anchor in a more peaceful place more of the time. So you have something to grab onto in that moment rather than the anger being full blown before you have no way to stop it. So I personally love Tai Chi, but all of them are great. And they, again, help anchor the peace within you because it's in there. It really is. All right, number 7. 6. 7. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. 7. This is the final one that I only recently realized. I've been working on anger, as I mentioned, a long time. Got those few things going for me, the head injury, the trauma, the learned response, all those things. Triple trouble. So I've been working on anger a while, but recently I noticed it start to creep back in a little bit more than usual, and I couldn't figure out why. Exercise. I haven't been exercising because I have some knee issues and a hip issue we won't discuss later date. But anyway, yeah, exercise seems, and maybe you guys already know this, maybe this isn't news to you, but it was news to me that it makes such a difference because maybe part of your anger is just pent up energy. Exercise really helps. I used to run 3 to 5 miles a day when I was younger, usually 5 days a week. And now I don't, and I need that exercise. So I've just recently begun exercising again. So keep in mind, all of these together are super powerful, but even if you adopt 1 or 2 of them, I do know they'll help you. It comes from experience, and I wish you peace, calm, tranquility. Until next time.